Good morning, my friends. Have you ever wondered why Genghis Khan might have reset the intellectual and mathematical world? I did. And trust me, it is a wild story. We'll get into it just after this. The year is 1221, and we are in April at this point. Genghis Khan is being led by his drive to conquer everything. He just wanted to conquer and pillage. He was out to rule as much land as he possibly could. But there was at one point where he offered peace. He sent 500 people on a peace mission to Khwarezm. I probably butchered that. Good luck. The governor, which then executed these people. He literally just wanted peace. It was a peace offering. He wanted control of the land, but wanted to remain peaceful. He did not want it to be a war. As his 500 men were executed and he found out, he and his youngest son, do not know his youngest son's name, I'll come back to that, decided to go scorched earth on modern day Iran. At this point, Iran is better known as Alexandria, which a lot of people will equate to the Library of Alexandria. You're correct. It was the center point for all information, especially mathematics. They were so far ahead of mathematics that it was pretty much the closest to modern day as you can get without being a modern day. Genghis Khan completely erased a population. Over 90% of the population was killed. But today specifically, we are talking about the city of Merv. Merv was a very strategic and central hub in Khorasan. By destroying the city, he basically eradicated the infrastructure. He took down what's estimated between 700,000 and 1.3 million, and he only had an army of about 30 to 50,000. This was hugely psychological as well, because he was proving the point where if you surrendered, you might live. If you didn't, there was anywhere between a 90 and 95% chance that you died. He was going through with mass murder. He annihilated the entire population, which is crazy. Another reason why he and his son Tuli wanted the city of Merv was because of how important it was to the Silk Road. He wanted to control all of the trade in the world that was known at that time. That was his whole goal. Was he just wanted control. Like, the dude literally just wanted to control everything. He wanted it all, and he was very close to doing so. He united the Mongol Empire and crushed several other empires in the process. The siege only lasted roughly 7 days, some estimates around 10, but the garrison at Merv only had about 12,000 men and hundreds to thousands of refugees. Again, we're in April of 1221. Toli, the son of Genghis Khan, had besieged the city for 6 days. What was estimated at the 7th day was when the leader surrendered, with the promise that everybody who surrendered would be spared. They were not. These are the Mongols we're talking about. The Mongols were monsters. Upon the surrender, up to about 95% of all people who surrendered were slaughtered and tortured. Apparently, it was unimaginable. No man has ever seen any kind of torture like this since then. Some reports read that they lit citizens on fire, and there were other torture methods that were not even written about. Toli was searching for money and wealth and possessions. He separated men, women, children, and everyone's possessions from them. He was torturing anybody who thought they were hiding money, especially the wealthy. They desecrated the Sultan's tomb, just looking for more and more wealth. He sat upon a golden throne, some say, while his men tortured and beat the life out of people, just regular people. He just wanted the money. He was out for gold. When the Khan ordered the dead to be counted, they counted around 700,000 people, but estimates today rounded up to about 1.3 million, potentially because of how many bodies were burned when they set the city on fire. This doesn't end on all bad notes, though. Sometime later in 1221, the leader of the city, that I cannot pronounce, attacked a detached Mongol battalion, which led Genghis Khan to retaliate, sending 30,000 troops back in their direction. The insurgency held off the Mongols. They had actually won. They seized the city and had back-to-back victories against the Mongol Empire. At this point, they had begun rebuilding their city. Now, this is a very big deal because I don't know how many other armies, if any, first off, had one victory against the Mongols, specifically Genghis Khan, let alone back-to-back. This is incredible. So talking a little bit about Genghis Khan, there was actually one good thing that came from him, and everything he unintentionally did for the planet. Because of how many people he killed, roughly 40 million people by his hand, roughly 700 million tons of carbon from the atmosphere was reabsorbed back into the accidental reforestation. Because of all the farmers abandoning their land, it allowed all the trees and agriculture to grow back naturally. He fixed part of the planet and had a cooling effect on the planet by killing 40 million people. That is crazy. Yeah, I cannot believe that. 40 million people died by his hand. That is a wild number. That is, I believe, about 30% of the population at that point, if not Asia's population. I'm not 100% sure. I would have to double check my numbers. But that is about a year's worth of fuel emissions. That is wild. So now I'd like to pass the conversation on to anybody in the comment section who would like to continue to have it. Do you think Genghis Khan was out of line for destroying the population of approximately 1.3 million because his 500 men were slaughtered? How do you feel about the insurrection making a comeback? I think that's pretty cool. It's always happy to see an underdog story, especially against the Mongol Empire. But what are your takes? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day.